convince atheists. You don't say, in Bhagavad Gita it says this. They won't accept that. Or in the Bible it says this. They won't accept that. So today we're going to learn how to convince an atheist, which was continuing any Shastric evidence. And we're reading from Canto 2, Chapter 2, verse 35. 2:35. Got it? Oh, okay. Bhagavan sarva bhutesu lakshita swatmana hari drishyar buddhyadibir drishdrasta lakshanir anuma pakai. The personality Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, is in every living being, along with the individual soul. And this fact is perceived and hypothesized in our acts of seeing and taking help from the intelligence. So let's repeat that. The personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, is in every living being, along with the individual soul. And this fact is perceived and hypothesized in our acts of seeing and taking help from the intelligence. So today we're going to learn how to convince anyone, especially an atheist, of the existence of God without using any Shastric evidence. Just by using reason and logic. And Srila Prabhupada says, and we're going to, as Prabhupada says, you're going to perceive the existence of God or Krishna by hypothesis through seeing and taking help from the intelligence. Well, this is exactly what the atheists do. They don't rely on Shastra. They just rely on what they can see and hypothesize using their reason and logic. Right? So we're going to outsmart the atheists today by their own standard. So Prabhupada says the general argument of the common man is that since the Lord is not visible to our eyes, how can one either surrender unto Him or render transcendental loving service unto Him? Okay. So, can you explain this in simple language? What is he saying here? What does he mean? The general argument of the common man, in other words, the general argument of the atheist, is that since the Lord is not visible to our eyes, how can one either surrender unto Him or render transcendental loving service unto Him? What does this mean? Yeah.
So it means that because common man, all the people, materialistic people, they believe what they can see. They believe sky, they know that.
What's the technical name for that?
They see the pratyaksha.
Well, they depend on pratyaksha, what they see with their senses. There's a word for that in English. It's called empiricism. Right, go ahead.
Yeah, and the second part.
Because they don't see, they can't serve.
Yeah, so because they can't see, so they cannot even surrender to that. Like if they see somebody with a gun, so they will surrender to him immediately. They will raise their hands. But because they cannot see God, so and it's like a speculation for them. It's like
there's a saying in English: seeing is believing. Is that true or not? Do you believe everything you see?
Not necessarily. Sometimes because the senses are imperfect, what we see could be imperfect too.
There was once a man in a movie house, in a theater, and he was watching a movie, and the movie seemed so real to him that he got affected by it. There was a man choking a woman to death in the movie. So he got so affected by it, he ran up on the stage thinking it was real. And when he got up on the stage, it was right next to the screen. He was going to fight with the man. Then he realized he didn't see the man anymore or the woman. He saw just black and white dots on a white screen. And he realized it was just an illusion. But sitting in the audience, And watching, he got affected by it. He thought a real woman was being choked to death. He ran up to the screen on the stage to stop it, and then he realized it was just a screen with with black and white dots on it. You see? So, is seeing believing?
So for common man, yes, that's a fact. But for actual reality is that seeing is not believing. It has to be mashed up at the three triangles. Shastra.
Not three triangles.
I mean, 3 points of the 3 vertices of the triangle.
3 points of a triangle. What are those points?
So those points are.
It's called the triangle of verification. The triangle of verification. Write that down.
3 points of triangle.
Omar.
Okay.
Write it down.
3 points of triangle.
Write it down. Triangle of verification. What do you mean you did write it? Sorry, write it down again. Write it down again. Huh?
The first point in the triangle is Guru, then it's Krishna, and then is.
Wait a minute. Is it Krishna or Guru or what? What is it?
Krishna.
What about Krishna?
What Krishna said.
Okay, first point.
And the second one is what the Acharyas said, the bona fide Acharyas.
Yes.
And the third point is what what your Guru said.
So what are they supposed to say? What are the Acharyas and the Gurus supposed to say?
Whatever Krishna said.
Yeah, they're supposed to repeat.
Yeah.
Right? If they repeat correctly, you can close the triangle.
Yeah.
There's 3 points to a triangle, right? So that's called the triangle of verification, right? What if you can't close the triangle? Don't say anything to her.
If you can't close it, then that means that something is wrong somewhere.
Yeah, what's the example of that? The name is Bali something. Bali what?
Bali Maharaj?
Yeah. Was he able to close the triangle?
No. Because his Guru told him to do something else. His Guru told him to do the sacrifice for his own pleasure instead of Krishna's pleasure.
What's the story? You know what the story is?
So,
Keep it near.
Bali Maharaj is Prahlad Maharaj's grandson, and
He what? Yeah.
he was a demon. He was from the Rakshasas, and his Guru wanted him to do a sacrifice so that he can be powerful and he can control all the 3 worlds. But
You don't have to tell the whole story. Just tell the main part of the story.
okay, so
What happened?
then Vishnu came as the
Are you
Dwarf,
listening, Omar?
as Vishnu came as Vamana, and he asked Bali for a boon, and Bali said whatever you want. He said you could take whatever you want, and Vamana Dev said that I just want the land that measures 3 steps of my foot, and Bali thought, well, this is a dwarf, so his 3 steps are going to be like so less. But his Gurudev told him not to, because his Gurudev knew immediately it was Vishnu, and his Gurudev told him not to do it.
What did his Guru tell him before? Sukracharya told him what previously?
That everything belongs to Krishna.
Yeah. And all sacrifices are meant to please Krishna.
Yeah.
And now Krishna appears in this special form as Vamana Dev, as a dwarf.
And
what did he tell him?
Shukracharya told him not to give him the boon. He told him that's Vishnu. But Bali Maharaj said, well, I already gave the promise. So he went ahead and gave the boon, and then...
Okay, well, what's the point about closing the triangle?
Well, Shukracharya...
Don't write anything.
Shukracharya told the right thing, but then when Vishnu actually came, then he said not to give him the
Exactly right. So he couldn't close the triangle.
Yeah.
Therefore, he knew that his Guru was deviating. That is the minimum requirement of a disciple. if the disciple has been trained properly by the guru and other gurus, Siksha and Diksha gurus, he'll be able to understand if his guru deviates. Otherwise, you're not a bona fide disciple. So Bali Maharaj was a bona fide disciple. He could recognize when his guru deviated. He could not close the triangle of verification. Okay, so the common man, the general argument of the common man is that since the Lord is not visible to our eyes, how can one either surrender unto him or render transcendental loving service to him? So this is the argument of the atheists, because they believe seeing is believing. And we know that seeing is not always believing. Seeing is, it's just because you see something or hear something does not mean that that thing is actually true. For example, the example of a magician. A magician comes out on the stage, and there are two ladies with him, and there's a big box. So he gets into the box, it's a vertical box, he gets into the box, and people see his head on one side and his feet on the other side. And then the two ladies smile and they get a big saw. And they start sawing the box in half. And they saw it in half and they open it up and then they close it. So, did you see the magician saw it in half? Did you see it? Yeah. You saw it with your own eyes, right? Do you believe that he was sawed in half? But you saw it. So then they close the curtain, and then they open the curtain, and there's the magician jumping up and down like this. He's not in the box anymore. So, do you believe that he was sawed in half? No. Did you see it, though? Yeah. So here's an example. It's seeing is not believing. Or, you're driving down the highway on a hot day. It's an asphalt highway. And you see water in the distance on the highway. Is there water in the distance on the highway? Have you ever seen water in the distance on the highway? On a hot day?
Yes.
Yeah. It looks like that. So is seeing believing? Not always. No. Or you're on the edge of a desert and you see water in the desert. Is there water in the desert? No. But you see it. So we cannot say that seeing is believing. Why? Because our senses are imperfect. What are the 4 defects of every human being, Omar?
4 defects of human being. Imperfect knowledge.
Imperfect senses.
Imperfect senses. Initiative, remorse, and motivation.
No. Does he make mistakes?
Yes. Oh, yeah, okay, yes. Imperfect senses does make mistakes. Oh.
Easily.
Cheating.
Cheating, yes. 3.
Cheating and then easily
Put into.
put into illusion.
Okay, that's the 4 defects. Mistakes, illusion, imperfect senses, cheating propensity. So is it possible with these 4 defects to independently on your own arrive at understanding absolute truth?
No.
Is it possible?
No.
No. So what's the conclusion? We need the help of a bona fide spiritual master who is in a bona fide parampara, right? Coming originally from Krishna, right? Because his duty is to repeat what? Who says? Krishna says. Then he's a guru. Then he's a spiritual master. If he repeats something else, or if he speculates, is he a guru?
No.
Huh? No. That's right. Okay. So To such a common man or such an atheist, here is a practical suggestion given by Srila Sukadeva Goswami as to how one can perceive the Supreme Lord by reason and perception. So we're going to use the technique of the atheists and the atheistic scientists and philosophers to prove that God exists. Is that good or bad? Yeah. You can convince all your friends at school, who are mostly atheists, that God exists if you learn this technique. Okay? Actually, the Lord is not perceivable by our present material senses. But when convinced of the presence of the Lord by a practical service attitude, there is a revelation by the Lord's mercy, and such a pure devotee of the Lord can perceive the Lord's presence always and everywhere. So therefore, is spiritual knowledge learned by an academic process? Academic process means studying, taking tests, and so forth. Huh?
No.
No, how is it learned?
By hearing from a bona fide guru.
Yeah, but what does a bona fide guru teach you to do?
He
Is that what he teaches you
He
to do?
teaches us to serve Krishna.
Right. And what happens if you serve Krishna? Te sam satata yuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam tadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upayanti te. 10th chapter, 10th verse. What does that say? Tadami buddhi yogam tam. Tadami means give. Give what? What does Krishna give you if you serve him nicely? Gives you candy?
No.
Spaghetti?
No.
French fries?
No.
Pizza?
No.
What does it give you?
His
Yes, but more specifically,
love. His love.
no.
Emotional.
No.
Affection.
Huh?
Affection.
No. What are you trying to do right now? You're trying to learn what? What is that called? Is it called ignorance?
No.
What is it called? Yes, and in general it's called, it starts with a K, N, O.
No. Knowledge.
Knowledge, right. He gives you knowledge. Yes, knowledge and... Okay, what's the difference between knowledge and wisdom, Kushi?
Knowledge is
Something... right.
what you learn
Yes.
and get, and then wisdom is
How? He gives you knowledge.
you do the thing.
Do it? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
How you use the...
She said do it.
How you use the...
How you use the knowledge.
Yes. That's wisdom. Okay? So, here it says... But when one is convinced of the presence of the Lord by practical service attitude, there is a revelation. What is a revelation? Does it mean the same thing as revolution?
No.
No. So what is a revelation, Omar? Revelation. Don't look it up. Just look at the word. Revelation. What does it mean? What's the root word? What's the root word of revelation?
What's he saying?
No. What's the root word? What's the root of the word revelation? What's the... What? Revelation. What's the root word? It's not Asian. It's the first part. What's the first part? What's that word? Not revel. Reveal. You have to learn English. English, it's the root word is reveal, but the noun, reveal is a verb, and the noun is revelation. It's don't look it up. What does reveal mean?
Oh, like show something?
Yes. So what does revelation mean? God will?
Oh, reveal to you after.
What does that mean, reveal to you?
Like give knowledge.
Yes. So that's the difference. The difference between revelation and academic knowledge is Academic knowledge is, how do you learn? What does academic mean?
Oh, like you use it nowadays. Like
No, you study, you take tests, you write essays, you try and learn like that. But spiritual knowledge is revealed. If you engage in Krishna's service sincerely, He will give you the knowledge. For example, do you know the story of Prahlad Maharaj? Okay. Did he have academic knowledge or revealed knowledge? Do you know the story, Pranay? Just tell it the part where he got revealed knowledge. Did he study?
No. So what happened was he was a devotee and his dad wanted to kill him.
His dad wanted to kill him. Let's give him the microphone.
So Krishna saved him, and then I think he got wisdom when he got saved, and he was still doing like service and eating prasadam.
What was the proof that he had revealed knowledge? What happened after his dad was killed and he gave a garland to Lord Nrsingadev? What happened? What did he do at that point? He started to speak very beautiful
clearly. Song.
prayers, right? And if you read those prayers, you can't imagine how a 5-year-old boy can recite prayers like that in complicated Sanskrit. Did he study No, it was revealed to him. How about Dhruva Maharaj? Anybody know that story? Sanskriti does. You have a microphone? Yeah. Just don't tell the whole story. Just tell the part where he sees Lord Vishnu and Lord Vishnu touches him with something. What did he touch him with?
His conch.
Yes, and what did Dhruva Maharaj start to do? Laugh? Giggle? Jump up and down?
No, he got the knowledge that he was wrong when he was looking for material wealth, and that he knew that what he was looking in, he gave a prayer to Krishna saying that I was just looking for pieces of glass, but now I found you're a diamond, so I don't need anything more.
Exactly right. He started to quote, like Prahlad Maharaj, very highly intricate and wonderful prayers glorifying the Lord. Did he go to school to learn that?
No.
No, it was revealed to him by the Lord. And Bhagavad Gita, 10th chapter, 10th verse says, those who serve me with love and devotion and are always thinking about me, I give them the knowledge by which they come to me. How about Narada Muni? Did he go to school?
No.
No. How did he become Narada Muni, the disciple, right? I mean, the guru of Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva is the one who wrote all the Vedas. Narada Muni is his guru. Narada Muni never went to school. Yeah.
association with devotees.
Yeah, and what did he do in their association? He heard them, and what else did he do?
Their remnants.
Took the remnants of their prasadam. Simply by hearing them, taking remnants of their prasadam and offering them service, he became completely enlightened in Krishna service, the Krishna consciousness. And he became Narada Muni. Right? Who is Narada Muni's guru? Lord Brahma. And who is Lord Brahma's guru? Krishna, yes. So, did Lord Brahma go to school? Huh? Did he go to school?
No.
No. How did he realize the Vedic knowledge? He got so much knowledge, he was able to be the secondary creator of the whole universe. In other words, he learned E equals mc squared, how to transform energy into matter, and then how to put matter together to make things. And he became Pitamaha, the original Prajapati. Right? How did he do that? Yes.
In the beginning of creation, there was all darkness and Brahma was confused, so he just prayed to Krishna, and then Krishna played his flute, and that's how Brahma...
Simply by hearing Krishna play his flute, he became enlightened
Yeah.
with knowledge. Right. Well, first of all, he heard the syllable, ta-pa. Then he understood he had to perform austerities in order to find out what is the meaning of the chaos in the material world and what is the purpose, what is his purpose in life. And by meditating 1,000 celestial years, which is much, much, much longer than 1,000 years on the earth, it runs into millions and millions of years. Eventually, he heard Krishna playing his flute, and then he actually saw Krishna in Vrindavan. And then he realized that, what did he realize when he saw Krishna? That he is the eternal. Eternal what? No, that Brahma is the eternal. No. What are you? You're the eternal.
Soul.
Yeah, but what is your activity? What does a devotee do?
Serve Krishna.
Serves Krishna, yeah. Brahma realized he's the eternal servant of Lord Krishna. Okay, so now the lesson today is how to convince atheists that God exists without quoting Shastra, without quoting Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam, simply using logic and reason. That's what the atheists do, right? Okay. So actually the Lord is not perceivable by our present material senses, right? Is seeing believing? You believe that seeing is believing? No. But if you hear Shastra correctly, is that believing? Yes. But when one is convinced of the presence of the Lord by a practical service attitude, what does that mean, a practical service attitude? A practical service attitude. Go ahead. You say. What is your name? What is your name? Yeah. Huh? Chinmay Devi. Okay. What does this mean? Practical service attitude. Keep the mic close to you, yeah.
Like you have the attitude to serve?
Yes, but what does practical mean? You want to serve by what? Going to the moon?
No.
Or doing Tulsi Puja?
Doing Tulsi Puja.
Yes, right. Can you go to the moon? Very unlikely. Can you do Tulsi Puja?
Yes.
That means it's practical. It's something you can actually do. Okay? So, now we're going to go forward. We realize that knowledge is revealed to us if we engage in a practical service attitude. That means always looking to do practical service, things that we can actually do right now. The Lord can perceive, but when one is convinced of the presence of the Lord by a practical service attitude, there is a revelation by the Lord's mercy, and such a pure devotee of the Lord can perceive the Lord's presence always and everywhere. He can perceive that intelligence is the form direction of the Paramatma, plenary portion of the personality of Godhead. Now this is a big concept. This explains the origin of intelligence. What is intelligence? What does intelligence mean? Anybody? Even the adults. What is intelligence? Yes, Puja. Mataji, go ahead.
So intelligence means to use what knowledge you have. You can use the same knowledge, like knife can be used to cut the apple or hurt your finger or hurt someone else. So intelligence means the knowledge, the mind, the senses which we have. We can either engage in Krishna's service or we can use it for our sense gratification.
Yes, in other words, in simple language, intelligence is the ability to discern between what is right and wrong, what is spiritual and what is material. Okay? So, it says here, intelligence is the form direction of the Paramatma plenary portion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, all intelligence comes from Krishna, and intelligence means the ability to see what is right and wrong. So is there a verse that we've learned already that explains this? Yes. It's 15:15. What does that mean, 15:15? Omar, what does 15:15 mean? Bhagavad Gita, chapter, verse? Yes. So in 15:15, just remember that today, 15:15, right? This is called what's a mnemonic. A mnemonic is something that you know to remember something you don't know. So when you hear something that you know, and you remember, and you can easily remember that, then you can associate that with something you don't know. So if you learn 15:15, then you know that Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, verse 15, you're going to find a verse that confirms that intelligence comes from Paramatma. So somebody asks you, hey Hari, what's the origin of intelligence? What's Hari going to say? Yeah, but let's say you don't remember at that point. What would you say? 15:15. And you'll say, what does that mean? You say, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, verse 15, which says, Sarva Shichaham Hridi Sanivisto Matak Jnanam. Yeah. Okay, so Sarva Shichaham Hridi Sanivisto Matak Jnanam. Matak Smitir Jnanam Apohanam Cha. So, Smitir means remembrance. Jnana means knowledge. Apohanam means forgetfulness. So, remembrance, forgetfulness, and knowledge come from who?
Krishna.
As Paramatma, right? It doesn't come necessarily from a book. It doesn't come necessarily from a course or a seminar. It comes from Paramatma. Okay, so he can perceive, anybody with a little bit of intelligence can perceive that intelligence is the form direction of the Paramatma plenary portion of personality of Godhead. The presence of Paramatma in everyone's company is not very difficult to realize, even for the common man. What does that mean? Omar. Is it difficult for a common man to see the Paramatma, understand the existence of Paramatma? No. It's actually easy. Now, previously, people used to, young kids, they still do today, but in a big way, young kids used to take LSD. You know what LSD is? It's a drug, right? And they would have a glimpse of Paramatma by taking LSD. You see? Yeah, they would have a slight glimpse. It was not a full realization, it was a slight glimpse. If you hear people describe what happens when you take LSD, they say, well, yeah, I saw everything connected.
Yeah, one person who met me, Sanjit, he said that, and I didn't believe it, what he was saying. He said he has seen the blue light, he has seen this and that.
Yeah, you see so many things, you think you have a complete understanding of reality, right? Of course, it's false, because after they come down from that drug, they can't remember exactly what it was they saw. They saw something. They can remember they saw something that was wonderful, right? So, Prabhupada is saying the presence of Paramatma in everyone's company is not very difficult to realize, even for the common man. The procedure is as follows. What does that mean? What's going to follow now? What does that mean, procedure?
The practical steps.
Yeah, the steps. the process. The step 1, step 2, step 3, bingo, Paramatma. Okay. So it says, one can perceive, this is step 1, one can perceive one's self-identification and feel positively that he exists. He may not feel it very abruptly, but by using a little intelligence, he can feel that he is not the body. He can feel that the hand, the leg, the head, and the hair and the limbs are all his bodily parts and parcels. Okay, so the first step, number 1, write this down, number 1. This is a 7-step process using only logic and reason, no Shastra, to prove to an atheist that God exists. Now we're going back to the original question that Krishna 2 asked, if you remember. Krishna 2 told us that a friend of his in school told him, I don't believe in God. And Krishna 2 had nothing to say. He couldn't convince him that God exists. So we have discussed this previously. Now we're going to hear the full explanation. How to explain the existence of God by not referring to Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam. Simply by using observation, intelligence, logic, and reasoning. Step number 1, to perceive that you are a person. So one time I was giving a lecture in a large assembly, and I said, does anyone here believe they are not a person? Somebody raised his hand. I said, do you believe you're a person? He said, no, I'm not a person. I said, okay. So I picked up a chair and started walking toward him. And everyone was looking like this, and he was looking, his eyes were really big. And as I got closer to him, I raised the chair like this over his head, and everyone was looking, they were thinking maybe I went crazy or something. And I told him, now I'm going to hit you over the head to prove that you're a person. And I was going like that. He said, no, don't do that, And I said, see, you're a person. I said, now watch this. I went to the wall, and I was going to bang the chair against the wall. And I did bang it a little bit, And I said, you see, the chair did not say, don't do it. But you said don't do it. That means you're a person. So that was a practical demonstration that he is a person. Because the wall is not a person. It doesn't complain if you hit it with a chair. Would you complain if I hit you with a chair? Yes. What does that mean? Yeah, you would be upset. But what does that prove? Why does the wall not get upset, but you get upset? It doesn't have a soul. Therefore, it's not a person. Right? So the first step in logic and reason to prove that Paramatma exists is to accept that you are a person. Okay? First step. Now, the second step is, as a person, you see things. And what you see is called the seen. How do you spell see? S-E-A? How do you spell it? S-E-E, right. Do they pronounce the words the same? See and see? Yeah. Is there a difference in the meaning? What is a see, S-E-A? Yes. S-E-A.
It's like a large,
body of water. It's called the ocean, right? Well, there's a slight difference between an ocean and a sea. A sea is not as big as the ocean, but it's a large body of water, right? And what is sea, S-E-E?
Something you see with your eyes.
Yes. So, you are the seer, and what you see is the seen. How do you spell seen? Yes, that's right. Yes. So there's seer and seen. How do you spell seer? Yeah?
S-E-E.
Yes, S-E-E-R. So if you can understand that you're the seer and what you see is the seen, now when you look at your hand, who are you and what is the hand? You are the? No, you are the seer. And the hand is the? Seen. if you can discern between the seer and the seen, right, then you know with your intelligence that there's a difference. Right? Does the hand see you?
No.
No. Do you see the hand? So therefore, there's a difference between the seer and the seen. Understand? So what is that difference? That means, if you look at your leg, is the leg the seer? You are the seer, right? If you look at your nose, is the nose the seer? No. You are the seer, the nose is the seen, right? Does that mean there's a difference between you and everything you see? Yes, there is. You see the chair. Are you the chair? Does the chair see you? No. So there's a difference between you and the chair.
What if you see a person?
Well, is that person you? So there's a difference between the seer and the seen. Of course, the Mayavadi would say, yes, I am that person also. That shows you how ridiculous they are. Right? One time, somebody came to see Ramakrishna, and he knocked on the door of his little house. And Ramakrishna didn't open the door. He said, who is it? He said, it's me. He said, go away, you're nonsense.
Oh.
So then he came back again, he knocked on the door. He said, who is it? He said, it is you. He said, come in. See, there's a nonsense of the Mayavadis, right? So if I am you, you are me, we are they are us is them is those are the others, and the others are another. Then, give me your cell phone. Because you are me, I am you. Give me your money. I am you, you are me. Right? Give me your car, give me your house, give me your wife, give me your husband, give me everything you have, because I'm you, you are me. Would you accept that? No. So you see, people are very logical when it comes to possessions. But when it comes to God, are they logical? No, they're illogical. I am you, you are me, we're all God, God is one is one. You know, they talk all kinds of nonsense when they talk about God. But when you talk about practical things like my money, your money, my money is my money, your money is your money. You see. You see how crazy people are? Okay. So, one can perceive one's self-identification and feel positively that he exists. He may not feel it very abruptly, but using a little intelligence, he can feel that he is not the body. He can feel that the hand, the leg, the head, the hair, and the limbs are all bodily parts and parcels, but as such, the hand, the leg, the head, etc., cannot be identified with his self. Therefore, just by using intelligence, he can distinguish and separate himself, or his self, from other things that he sees. So the natural conclusion is that the living being, either man or beast, is the seer, and he sees besides himself all other things. So this is step 2. Step 1 is, are you a person?
Yes.
Answer, Sidhu.
Yes.
You sure? Okay. Step 2, are you the seer? Okay. Is your hand the seer or the seen?
Seen.
It's the seen. Yeah. So you can understand that everything you see is actually different than you. Let's say you see Krishna. Is that you? No, because you can see it. Right? You can see him. So there's a difference between the seer and the seen. That's step 2. Okay, now we went 2 steps. This is like Saptapada in the marriage ceremony. Right? There's going to be a marriage ceremony today. And there's 7 steps that you take. Right? So now we're almost married to Krishna. We've taken 2 steps, right? So, step number 3. So there is a difference between the seer and the seen. Now, by a little use of intelligence, see, this is, you have to have a little intelligence to understand this, because this is a way of understanding the existence of God without using Shastra, without using Bhagavad Gita. This is the way you convince an atheist that God exists, because you use the atheist system of observation, reason, and logic. What are those three things I just said? Hari? No. Observation, not listening, and not paying attention, right? That's the atheist process. Yeah. What did I say? Three things?
Observation, reason, and logic.
Yes. Observation, reason. Okay, let's go over one thing. What is the first thing you learn when you come to class? And what is the actual purpose of coming to class? Anybody know? Okay, Pranay.
Of this class or?
Any class. You can be in school. You can be here. What is the purpose of coming to class?
To learn something in music. To learn math.
Well, yes, but it's something before that. Yes, Sanskriti, you know the answer. Oh, wait a minute, Kushi, you know the answer. Go ahead.
Knowledge.
Well, yes, but there's something before that. Sanskriti?
I don't know.
Okay. That's on.
That's-
Yes, Momar.
To learn.
Well, not exactly,
Prabhu,
but you're close. You learn to...
Learn.
No. No.
To learn to.
Okay, Pooja?
to learn to hear.
Yes, you learn to hear. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. So what is Shravanam? Hearing. Right. And Kirtanam? Huh? Chanting actually means repeating what you hear. Right. So let's say you were born in China. You were not born here. You were born in China to a Chinese family. What language would you learn to speak after when you become 5 years old in China? Yeah, like that. You know, did you go to school those 5 years to learn? No, they start kindergarten at 4 or 5. Yeah, so you didn't really go to school. How did you learn then?
By listening to your parents
And
speaking.
and repeating.
Yeah.
Yes. Just like when you want to learn Hindi, right? So the first lesson is, it says, this is, what? What is this? Ya japa hai. What does that mean? Huh?
Japa mala.
Yeah, this is japa. And the teacher said, repeat. Ya japa hai. You know. So you learn like that by hearing and
Repeating.
repeating. That's the way you learn. Some people, they give a different interpretation. Say, eatinum and sleepinum instead of shravanam and kirtanam. Do you learn by eatinum and sleepinum? No. How do you learn?
By hearing and repeating.
Hearing and repeating. And this is what you learn in class. You learn to
Hear.
Hear very, very seriously. Then you learn, and then you repeat. So now, the third step in learning, in proving that God exists without Shastra, without referring to Bhagavad Gita, without referring to anything the Acharyas say, just using intelligence, observation, and reason. Okay. So the third step is, now by a little use of intelligence, we can also readily agree that the living being who sees the things beyond himself by ordinary vision has no power to see or to move independently. Let me read that again. Now, by a little use of intelligence, we can also readily agree that the living being who sees, in other words, you, the seer, he's explaining now how you see, Living being, the seer, who sees things beyond himself by ordinary vision, has no power to see or to move independently. What does this mean? What does this mean, what I just read? The living being who is the seer has no power to see independently. Yes.
You need eyes to see.
Yeah, who gave you those eyes?
Krishna.
Well, you know it's Krishna. Right now we don't know it's Krishna. We're atheists, right? We're being convinced
Yeah.
slowly. This is step number 4. Somebody gave it to you. You don't remember making it yourself, right? Did you make your eye yourself?
No.
No. Did you make the internet?
No.
Can you use the internet?
Yes.
Yes. Did you make the eye?
No.
Can you use the eye?
Yes.
Okay. Are you independently maintaining the eye?
No.
No, you're not. Somebody else is running the whole business, just like someone else is running the internet. Someone else is running your phone, right? You don't know exactly how it works, but you know how to use it. So that's the same with the body and the senses. These are highly evolved instruments. If you study, one of these days we're going to study the eye, and you're going to see how complicated it is. It's a highly technical instrument. But you don't understand, but you can use it. So here, with a little bit of intelligence, one can distinguish and separate his self, meaning the seer, from other things that he sees. So the natural conclusion is a living being, either man or beast, is the seer, and he sees besides himself all other things. So there is a difference between the seer and the seen. Now, by a little use of intelligence, we can also readily agree that the living being who sees the things beyond himself by ordinary vision has no power to see or to move independently. Can you create an eye?
No.
No. Does the eye work because you are controlling it completely?
No.
No. So, is there someone else controlling the way the eye works?
Yes.
You can't understand this unless you actually study how the eye works. Then you'll be amazed how complicated it is. And you realize you're not really controlling it. Somebody else is controlling it and making it work. Just like the internet, just like your phone, just like your car. When you open the hood of your car and look at the engine, do you understand everything that works in the engine?
No.
No, you don't understand anything. Right? You have to call a mechanic to help you understand. Right? So, let's go over one other thing first. In English, there's a word philosophy. What's the word for philosophy in Sanskrit? Puja.
Darshan.
Yes. What does darshan mean?
Basically, it means
To see. To see.
Okay. What's the word philosophy mean in English? Philosophy, the etymology of the word philosophy, it comes from Greek. Philos and osophy. Yeah. What does that mean? What is the actual meaning of philosophy in English?
so. Philosophy means that you are just making a hypothesis.
No. Love of knowledge.
What is it?
Philos means knowledge, and agi means something that you really pay attention to or love. Is there a difference between the meaning of philosophy in English and the meaning of philosophy in Sanskrit?
Yes.
Yes, a big difference. Now, the example is this. Let's say you walk down the street and you see a wallet. How does the thief see the wallet, and how does the devotee see the wallet? Omar, if you were a thief and you saw somebody's wallet in the street, how would you see it? Would you see it as your lucky day?
Yeah,
Why?
because that's how thieves think.
Well, because you would open the wallet and let's say you see a lot of money in the wallet. Would you think that that money is yours if you were a thief?
Probably.
Yes. Now, how would you see the wallet if you were a devotee? No. No. Yes, Pranay.
I would see it as a bad luck day for another person.
Okay, what is that called in English? Huh? Okay. What you just said means you're putting yourself in the position of that person. Now, if that wallet was yours and somebody else saw it, how would you want them to see it?
I want them to see it as
Microphone. Pick up the mic.
I would want them to see it as like the same thing I saw it, the way I saw it.
Which is?
That it's a bad luck day for another person.
Yeah, it's a bad luck day. In other words, it belongs to someone else, right? Yes? What?
Putting yourself in someone's shoes.
Empathy.
Yeah.
It's called empathy. Correct word. Thank you. It's called empathy. You put yourself in the other person's case or position. So, if that was your wallet, you would hope that an honest person would find it and give it back to you intact. What does that mean, intact? Yeah.
without anything missing from it or anything.
Right. Okay, we'll continue after the class. We're on point 4. We only have actually 2 more points to go. With 6 points, you can prove to anyone, especially an atheist, that God exists without referring to Shastra. But point 7, you have to use Shastra. 6 points you can prove that Paramatma exists.
फर्स्ट जेब में ये वाली आंटी भी रखना है जेब में अपने में
bhajami Vrindam Purusham bhajami Vrindam Purusham Tamaham bhajami Vrindam bhajami bhajami Purusham bhajami Govindam Purusham Tamaham bhajami Govindam Purusham Tamaham bhajami Govindam.
It will get over now.
But you have over. But उसके बाद there's something else, right? After that, it's okay.
After that you sing.
Okay, then I'm saying it keeps going, right? After that, there is some other thing on the tape.
After this, some other program.
No. On the MP3 player, after this, you have to stop it. Otherwise, it will go to the next song.
That probably Prabhu will stop. She is stopping.
Yes, that's my point. Somebody has to do that.
यशोमति नंदन ब्रज वरुणागर गोकुल रंजन काना यशोमति नंदन ब्रज वरुणागर गोकुल रंजन काना गोपी पारन धन मदन मनोहर गोपी पारन धन मदन मनोहर कालिय धमन विधान अमल हरि नाम मिय विलास अमल हरि नाम मिय विलास विपिन पुरंदर नवीन नगर बोर विपिन पुरंदर नवीन नगर बोर बंसी बदन सुवास ब्रज जन पालन असुर कुल नाशन ब्रज जन पालन असुर कुल नाशन नंद गोधन रखवाला नंद गोधन रखवाला गोविंद माधव नवनीत तस्कर गोविंद माधव नवनीत तस्कर
सुंदर नंद गोपाल यामुना तट चर गोपी बसन हर यामुना तट चर गोपी बसन हर रास रसिक कृप मोय रास रसिक कृप मोय श्री राधवल्लभ वृंदावन नटबर श्री राधवल्लभ वृंदावन नटबर भक्ति विनोदाश्रय हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे राधा नील माधव राधा नील माधव राधा नील माधव राधे जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा जय सीताराम लक्ष्मण भक्त हनुमान, सीताराम लक्ष्मण भक्त हनुमान। निताय गौरंग, निताय गौरंग, निताय गौरंग गौर हरि। जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह, जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह, लक्ष्मी नरसिंह, जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह। निताय गौर हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, निताय गौर हरि बोल। जय जय प्रभुपाद, 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमेश्वर अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमेश्वर अष्टोत्तर सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर महाराज की जय। नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। गंगा माई की जय, यमुना माई की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, तुलसी देवी की जय, सामवेद भक्त वृंद की जय। युग धर्म हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद ट्रांसेंडेंटल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
I'll tell you later. Prabhu, see this subject, we're going to make a book out of this subject. Yeah. So, we are now on step number 4. Who knows the first 3 steps to convince an atheist without referring to Shastra?
What do we write for number 3?
Okay, we're going to go over it. Okay, Omar, what's step number 1? And convince, don't look, just say it, remember it.
If you're a person.
Yes, step 1. Very good. Step number 2. Yes. Yes, step number 2. Step number 3. Yes.
To see that you can independently.
You're already wrong. Huh? Mike. We want to hear you.
Okay, so basically, step number 3 is that we should hear and repeat. To like we are independent. So to see that we are yeah. Let's hear and repeat.
Anybody else? What? I didn't understand what you said.
I missed out. I think it's not correct.
Okay, step number 3. Okay, first, you're a person. Second, there's a difference between the seer and the seen. Third, You can't see on your own, right? The instrument for seeing is being given to you.
For observation.
Yeah, I mean, you're not independent. You need eyes, you need the objects to see, you need there's three things. There's the process of perception, there is the object of perception, and there is the seer. There's three things. The seer, the process of perception, and the object of perception, right? So the process of perception, object of perception, perception, are they things that you created? No. So they're supplied to you, right? And yourself, do you remember creating yourself? That was also, in a sense, supplied to you. So you're not independent in seeing. That's the point. Okay? And then number 4, number 4. Okay, now by a little use of intelligence, we can also readily agree that the living being who sees the things beyond himself by ordinary vision has no power to see or to move independently. Okay. All our ordinary actions and perceptions depend on various forms of energy supplied to us by nature in various combinations. Our senses of perception and of action, that is to say, our 5 perceptive senses of hearing, touch, sight, taste, and smell, as well as our 5 senses of action, namely hands, legs, speech, evacuation organs, and reproductive organs, and also our 3 subtle senses, namely mind, intelligence, and ego, 13 senses in all, are supplied to us by various arrangements of gross or subtle forms of natural energy. And therefore it is equally evident that our objects of perception are nothing but the products of the inexhaustible permutations and combinations of the forms taken by natural energy. As this conclusively proves that the ordinary living being has no independent power of perception or of motion, and as we undoubtedly feel our existence being conditioned by nature's energy, we conclude that he who sees is spirit, and that the senses as well as the objects of perception are material. Okay, so step 3 is a very significant step, because we see that the person that sees the process of perception and the objects of perception, we are not independent. None of those things are independent. They're depending on something else that's greater than us, right? And that we're dependent on somebody or something that's maintaining these things, the process of perception and the objects of perception. We didn't create the tree, we didn't create the eye, we didn't create the brain. So, but we're able to use these things. Just like we didn't create the internet, but we're able to use it. So we're not independent in seeing. And there's a difference between the seer and the seen. There's a difference between you, Sidhu, and the wall, right? What's that difference?
The wall is the seen.
Yes.
And
So what is the difference? Can you give me a practical difference between you and the wall? If I hit you with a chair, would you complain? If I hit the wall with the chair, will it complain?
No.
So what is the difference?
I have a soul and
Yes. Okay, so how do I know that you have a soul? Or how do you know you have a soul? Yes, Sanskriti.
Because if someone hits you with a chair, you will get hurt and you will complain.
Complain, right? Whereas I hit the wall, it doesn't complain, it doesn't say you hurt me, right? So you have perception, you have consciousness, and the wall does not have the same type of consciousness that you have. So you have something the wall doesn't have, or the carpet, or the rug. You have something the rug doesn't have. Right? And that thing is consciousness. But the consciousness is a symptom of what? The consciousness is the symptom, Sindhu, of what? You know the answer. The consciousness is the symptom of? Huh? Your nose? Is it the symptom of your nose? No. Is it the symptom of your teeth? Symptom of your body? Yes? No? What is a symptom of? What's different than your body? Go ahead, give me a microphone to her. Give the microphone to her. This consciousness is a symptom of?
Having a soul?
Yes. Very good. So does the carpet have a soul? The carpet you're sitting on, does it have a soul?
No.
How do you know? Huh? Give her the microphone.
It's non-living?
What would be the symptom that it's living?
It can...
It would be conscious.
Yeah.
Like if you hit the carpet with your fist real hard or bang it with a chair, what happens?
Nothing.
If I hit you with a chair, what happens?
I can feel like I got hurt.
Yeah, you would complain, right? Oh, Harivilas hit me with the chair. He hurt me, right? So therefore, you have something the carpet doesn't have, or the rug doesn't have. What is it?
Soul.
You have a soul that is?
Conscious.
Conscious. You understand? Okay, so now, number 4. The spiritual quality of the seer is manifest in his or her dissatisfaction with the limited state of materially conditioned life. That is the difference between spirit and matter. Is the carpet dissatisfied because today is not a sunny day? Are you somewhat dissatisfied that today is not a sunny day? No? You're happy that it's not sunny, Kushi? You are? Okay, well that's okay. Is the carpet happy that it's not sunny? No. So is there a difference between you and the carpet? Huh? Kushi, is there a difference between you and the carpet? Yes. There are some less intelligent arguments that matter develops the power of seeing and moving at a certain organic development. But such an argument cannot be accepted because there is no experimental evidence that matter has anywhere produced a living entity. Trust no future, however pleasant. What does that mean? Trust no future, however pleasant. Go ahead. What's her name? Next to you, Sidhu? What? Didija. Can you... What does this mean? Trust no future, however pleasant. Trust no future, however pleasant.
Because the future can change.
Yes, but what does it mean exactly? Trust no future, however pleasant. What's the first part mean? Trust no future.
Because it always changes.
Well, you don't know what the change is going to be, right?
Yeah.
So you can't trust it. You can't say, I'm sure that I'll be happy 10 years from now. Are you sure about that?
No.
Yeah. So you cannot trust the future. Even if someone says, "Oh, if you give me $10 today, I'll give you $10 million in 10 years." Can you trust that statement?
No.
No. Right? Sounds good, right? I just give $10 today, I get back $10 million 10 years from now. But now if some stranger walked up to you, let's say Pranay walked up to you, let's say you're in Mumbai, some guy walks up to you and says, "Pranay, give me 100 rupees now, I'll give you back 10 crores of rupees 10 years from now." Would you do it? No. Would you do it? No. So trust no future, however bright. Bright means you're going to get 10 million rupees or 10 crores of rupees 10 years from now. Is that a bright projection? Yes, but don't trust it. Okay. So, in the same way, people say that by continuing research in artificial intelligence, we will develop a brain equal to the human brain. Can we trust that prediction? No. Trust no future, however bright. That's nonsense. But see, how are they trying to do it? They're using material combination, combining atoms and molecules together, or combining this gigabyte or that neural transmission cell to another neural, and then they're going to make a brain. Can we believe that they'll be able to do that? No. But they can make a bridge, they can make a tunnel, they can make a skyscraper, they can make an airplane, they can make a rocket. And then they say, well, if we can do that, then we can also make a human being. Does it make sense? They don't know the complexity of the human body. You know, if you start studying the complexity of the human body, you would see that it's impossible. They'll never be able to do it. Or they say, oh, well, soon we're going to the moon and we'll have 1 million people living on the moon. Do you think they could move 1 million people from the earth to live on the moon? Or even 2 people to live on the moon permanently? No. That's why when they sell tickets to go to Mars, it's a one-way ticket. What does that mean, Omar? If I sell you a one-way ticket to go to India, what does that mean?
I'm staying there for...
Yeah, that means you're dead. You're dead meat, as they say. Okay, so step 4. Trust no future, however bright. Idle talks regarding future development of matter into spirit are actually foolish, because no matter has ever developed the power of seeing or moving in any part of the world. Therefore, it is definite that matter and spirit are 2 different identities, and this conclusion is arrived at by the use of intelligence. Okay, that's number 4. Number 1?
Use of intelligence.
No, number 1.
You see that you are a concept.
Number 2.
You are a seer.
And what you see is the seen. So there's a difference between the seer and the seen. Number 3. The instruments of perception, the objects of perception, they're all supplied to you. You're not independent in seeing. So you're not the independent seer. Number 4, if you're not the independent seer, then there's a difference between the seer and the seen. What is that difference? You are conscious, and what you're seeing, like the carpet or the rug or the wall, is not conscious. So you have something that the object you're looking at doesn't have. And what is it? It's consciousness. And consciousness is a symptom of the soul. So you are a soul, and the rug does not have a soul. You have something that's different. Don't call it a soul, because if you say soul, the atheists say, I don't believe in a soul. But you have consciousness, right? So you have something that the wall or the carpet doesn't have. So therefore there's a difference between dull matter and the soul, or the consciousness. Now we come to the point that things which are seen by a little use of intelligence cannot be animate unless we accept someone as the user or director of the intelligence. Intelligence gives one direction, like some higher authority, and the living being cannot see or move or eat or do anything without the use of intelligence. So, let's say I go and buy a model train set. Where would I buy that? It's called a hobby shop.
What you buy?
A model train set. It's a model train. What's a real train? What's the difference between a real train and a model train?
A toy train.
Yeah, but this is a sophisticated toy, and it's expensive. It can cost you hundreds of dollars. So, yes?
When I was little, we got a $1,000 train set, and it had an engine, and you put gasoline in it, and you had the metal track to go around your house.
Put gasoline in it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was electrically...
Well, yeah, I had that one too, but I had the steam one.
You had a real steam one? Wow. Where'd you buy that?
We bought it from a garage sale.
Oh, in a garage sale. What happened to it?
We gave it away.
Oh, you should have kept it. That'd be an interesting thing to have.
It was an antique.
That's an antique. That's worth a lot of money. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're usually electric.
Yeah, I had an electric one.
Yeah. So, does the train move by itself? That model train? No. It's only when you push the button that it moves, right? So, you cannot... Do you think that things move by themselves? Like this rug. Does it move by itself? No. You need a person to pick it up and move it. Therefore, one can use the reason to understand that intelligence gives one direction like some higher authority, and the living being cannot see or move or eat or do anything without the use of intelligence. When one fails to take advantage of intelligence, he becomes a deranged man, and so a living being is dependent on intelligence or the direction of a superior being. So in other words, you have intelligence, and with the intelligence you're able to discern between what is right and wrong. So Sidhu, can you see what's right and wrong? Huh? What? You were sitting right here. I said it out loud. Do you remember what I said? Why is that? You are not hearing. What's the purpose of coming to the class? Learn how to hear. Right? So I'm going to ask you the question again. Intelligence. What is intelligence? If you don't know the answer, just say, I don't know the answer. Okay, what's intelligence, Pranay?
It's knowledge that you use, like,
No, that's wisdom. What is intelligence? Omar?
Intelligence?
Yeah.
What's intelligence? It is using knowledge.
That's wisdom.
Using intelligence is...
Yes, Sanskriti. No. Yes.
Ability to discern what is right from wrong.
Yes, that's intelligence. Okay? So, You can also, it's not only discerning what is right and wrong, it's also seeing and understanding what you see, or discerning. Discerning means you're able to see differences. So is there a difference between the carpet and you?
Yes.
What is the difference, Sidhu?
I am saying the carpet and wood.
What's the symptom that you have a soul?
If you bang me with a chair, I would be
Take the microphone. If you're hit with a chair, what would happen?
I would be complaining, and then if the carpet gets hit with the chair, and then it would just, nothing would happen.
So that means you have something the carpet doesn't have.
Yeah.
What is that?
Consciousness.
Exactly right. Okay. So whenever a person has intelligence, he's able to make good choices. So we can come to the conclusion nothing moves and nothing has a purposeful movement without some intelligence behind it. Like, for example, does this microphone work on its own? No. No. But if you are an intelligent person, you can make the microphone work. Either you put batteries in it or you connect it to an electric plug, etc. Right? So the microphone doesn't work on its own. So this is step 4. That is, that there's a difference between the seer and the seen, and the seer is not independent in seeing. It depends on someone who's controlling the process of seeing and the objects of perception. And then number 4, nothing will move and nothing will have a purposeful direction of moving unless there's an intelligent person behind it. Just like the toy train. Will it move on its own? No. It only moves when you connect everything and start pushing buttons, and it'll move forward, and then you can make it move backward, and you can make it stop. When you train a bull, what do you train it to do first?
Listen to your commands.
Yeah, what are the commands? Basically 3 commands.
Go, stop. Go, stop, and go backwards.
Go backwards, right. So what are you doing to the train? Jai Shishi Radha Nilamadava Ki Jai Namaste. What are you telling the train to do?
Going forward.
Then,
Stopping.
and, exactly, like the bull. Go, stop, go backwards. Go forward, stop, go backwards. You see? So that's because you're an intelligent person. So nothing, this number 4 is very important. Nothing will move, nothing will have direction, nothing will have specific purpose unless there's an intelligent person behind it. Yes? Does the Japanese robot move on its own?
No.
The Japanese robot is just an imitation, a poor imitation of a person. Yeah.
I have a question.
Microphone. There's a question here. Yes. Go ahead. What is the question?
If you told the atheist that everything has a something behind it, then they would say, well, then there's the.
No, you're not telling anything. You're going step by step with reason and logic.
Reason, logic. So you're saying, okay, behind the controller it's someone intelligent, right? And then
No, behind the object.
Object, okay. Won't
There's someone intelligent, yeah.
Won't there be like the endless what's it called? Cause and
Yeah, you're talking about the
no, not cause and effect.
eternal regress. Or
Yeah, eternal regress.
continual
Won't they say, oh, then there's someone superior than God, right? Behind God doing something.
No, we're not there yet.
Okay.
We're just proving that there's a superior intelligence in the universe. That's superior to mankind. See, the atheists believe everything depends on mankind. But if you prove to them there's a superior intelligence to mankind, then that points to God. That's what we're doing. Just using our reason and logic without using Shastra to show that there's superior intelligence in this world. Okay? So now we have 4 points. Point number 5. At this point in our investigation, we may consider the following question. On the one hand, we realize that all our perceptions and activities are conditioned by arrangements of material nature. Yet we also ordinarily feel and say, I am perceiving or I am doing. Therefore, we can say that our material senses of perception and action are moving because we are identifying the self with the material body, and that the superior principle of superself is guiding and supplying us according to our desire. By taking advantage of the guidance of superself in the form of intelligence, we can either continue to study and put into practice our conclusion that I am not this body, or we can choose to remain in the false material identification, fancying ourselves to be the possessors and doers. Our freedom consists in orienting our desire either toward the ignorant material misconception or the true spiritual conception. We can easily attain to the true spiritual conception by recognizing the super-self, Paramatma, to be our friend and guide, and by dovetailing our intelligence with the superior intelligence of Paramatma. The super-self and the individual self are both spirit, and therefore the super-self and the individual self are both qualitatively one and distinct from matter. But the super-self and the individual self cannot be on an equal level because the super-self gives direction or supplies intelligence, and the individual self follows the direction, and thus actions are performed properly. The individual is completely dependent on the direction of the super-self because in every step, the individual self follows the direction of the super-self in the matter of seeing, hearing, thinking, feeling, and willing, etc. Okay, so this is the next thing. The next thing is, just like we control the train, go forward, stop, go backwards. In the same way, the process of perception, the objects of perception, they're all being controlled by someone else, not by us. And just as we can control the train, the person who's given us the senses and the process of perception and the objects of perception is superior to us. We have no control over these things. They're being supplied to us. So we can perceive now that there's a superior intelligence to us in this world. Just like we can make the train move forward, stop, and go backwards. So listen carefully. I'm going to ask you a question. You won't be able to answer it because you're not listening. All right? So, who can make the earth turn on its axis, go forward, even stop, and go backwards? Can you do it? Can President Trump do it? No. Can the United Nations do it? Can Saudi Arabia do it? Can India do it? Who can do that? Well, we don't say Krishna now. We just say someone is much more intelligent than any of these people is doing that. Just like I can make the train go forward, Trump can send troops to Afghanistan, but he can't make the earth turn on its axis, nor can he make the earth turn around the sun. So anytime that there's a movement and a directional movement, that means there's an intelligence behind it. What did I just say, Sanskriti? What did I just say? Huh? If you don't know, say, I don't know because I wasn't listening. Okay. So what did I just say? How do you...
Behind anything that's like...
Hold it and say it.
Behind anything that's like like an object, like to be moved forward, backward, or stopped and all that, there has to be an intelligent person behind it.
Right. Now, I can make the toy train move forward and backwards. Can I make the earth revolve on its axis?
No.
What does that mean? That means there's another intelligent person besides me who's making matter move in a specific way, and a precise way. Just like I can precisely make the train move forward and backwards, right? But I can't make the earth revolve on its axis or move around the sun, or the sun and the whole universe move around a solar axis. I can't do that. Okay? Yeah.
Fifth point is specifically for the movement.
Matter doesn't move on its own. So I am not matter, I'm a soul, and I have consciousness. So I can make a toy train move according to the way I want. Or I can drive a Toyota the way I want to drive it. I can make it go forward or backwards. But can I make the earth move? No. Can I make the sun move? No. Can I make an atom, an individual atom move? No. So you see, by comparing ourselves, by understanding ourselves, now we begin to understand about superior intelligence to our own selves. Okay? So far as common sense is concerned, we have come to the conclusion that there are three identities, namely matter, spirit, and super spirit. Or matter, intelligence, and super intelligence. Okay? What are those three things? What did I say? What did I just say? There's three things. Matter, intelligence, and super intelligence, right? Does matter have intelligence? No. No. What has intelligence? Yeah, but what is that? No, but you're controlling matter. You're controlling the microphone right now. So you're a soul. Yeah, but you're not controlling the sun. Who's controlling that? Right, which would be the super soul. Okay. So now we discern three things. Then now we're on point, we just did 5 points. Now we're on point 6, right? We discern three things. There's matter, there's spirit, or the soul, and there's super soul, or there's matter, intelligence, and supreme intelligence. Right? Now, if we go to the Bhagavad Gita, or the Vedic intelligence, we can further understand that all three identities, namely matter, individual spirit, and super spirit, are all dependent on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, this is point 7. I'm sorry. We skipped, we did 6 points. Maybe we got mixed up going. Let's go over it carefully. Point 1 is I'm a person. Point 2 is the difference between the seer and the seen. Point 3 is the seer is not independent. He has to depend on someone else. Point 4 is the differentiation between the seer and the seen is the seer is conscious and the object of perception, like a carpet or a rug, is not conscious. So the seer has something that the object doesn't have. Number 4 is nothing can move by itself. Okay, number 5. Nothing can move by itself. That was a mistake, yeah. And number 6 is I can move the train, but I can't move the earth. So therefore there's a superior intelligence. And then, okay, number 1, there's a person. Number 2, there's a difference between the seer and the seen. Number 3, one is not independent. Number 4, there is difference between the major difference between seer and the seen is that the seer is conscious and the seen is not conscious, such as a train or a carpet, right? And number 5 is nothing moves on its own. Therefore, there's number 6 is there's a superior consciousness, superior intelligence. Right? And then number 7 is so now by number 6 we prove that there's a superior intelligence, and that is pointing toward Paramatma, right? Or God. Number 7 is we cannot really learn specifically who this God is unless we go to Bhagavad Gita. But we did prove that there's a superior intelligence without using Shastra. But to understand specifically the qualities and the personality of that superior intelligence, we need to go to Bhagavad Gita. So you can convince any atheist that there's a superior intelligence in the universe to human beings. Now this defeats what's called secular humanism, which is the basis of all education today in America and India. Secular humanism says that man is the measure. There's nothing beyond man. There's no superman. There's no God. And man has to rely only on his reason, logic, and observation to understand the truth. Now we know that's not possible because of the 4 defects. But we can use reason and logic to understand that there's superior intelligence to man. That we can do. Yes?
So, Vijay, I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for coming late. The source is Srimad Bhagavatam, which canto?
2nd canto, 2nd chapter, verse 35. Okay, so now we have a system of reason and logic and observation by which we can convince any atheist that there's superior intelligent being to man.
This we can use in Sankirtan also.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, so this is the ultimate answer to Krishna number 2's question: how can I convince my atheistic friends at school that God exists? Well, they can exist them at least that there's a superior intelligence to man, and that defeats the philosophical basis of modern education. That is that there's only man in this universe, and he has to rely only on his reason, logic, and observation and science to understand what the truth is. But by using reason, intelligence, logic, and observation, we have proven to this atheist there's a greater intelligent person in the universe than man. Haribol, yes.
Prabhuji, even when we are small child,
Yeah.
at that time also we need some superior to guide us.
Yes.
Even from here to, let's say, I want to go to Pradhan Hall, we need someone there.
Yes.
Otherwise I can't figure out where it is.
Yes. Exactly. Okay, nothing moves unless there's an intelligent being behind it. Yes. So last week we had homework. Not last week, 2 weeks ago we had homework, but I don't think anyone did it. The homework was
How speculation and pious activity will lead to defect and
not defect, defeat, and not to victory in this life. There was a mistake in the spelling of that word, defeat.
Some people talk about the things are being maintained automatically, or evolution, theory of evolution.
Yeah. That's called nonsense.
So when we quote point number, nothing moves without
Intelligence.
intelligence and
Yeah. Did the Japanese make a robot without using intelligence? Did the robot just happen?
Yeah.
Did Microsoft just happen? Did Infosys just happen?
Yes, they give
Right.
the argument, but then they say that human has created, but the human has evolved from.
But human is a machine. The Japanese robot, which is an imitation of a human, did it just happen? Huh? No. And that's the imitation, right? So if the imitation did not just happen, then how can the real thing just happen? Which is much more complicated than the imitation. These are ridiculous arguments that they make. When they say it just happened, that means they don't understand how it happened. That's what it means. Like when you go to a doctor and you say, "Doctor, I have this pain, it hasn't gone away." You say, "Oh, it's hereditary." What does that mean? That means they don't know what's causing the pain. That's what they say. It's hereditary. Yeah, it's because your mother and father or your grandfather. That's nonsense. That means they don't know the answer. So they have to say something. So they say it's hereditary. So they don't know the answer. They say, oh, it just happened. Yeah, of course, Microsoft, Bill Gates is behind it. It didn't happen by itself. Infosys, this other one is behind it. But the whole world, it just happened. Come on, it's nonsense.
Prabhu,
Yes.
shall I try to answer the homework?
Huh?
Answer the homework or?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
It says pious activities
yes,
also.
Prabhuji. How pious activities and speculation will lead to defeat and not victory in this life. Write 1 or 2 paragraphs explaining your understanding. So if I take it into 2 portions, basically 3. So
Okay,
pious
from now on,
activity.
1 second. From now on, girls have to sit on this side. You can't sit on the other side. You have to sit here so I can see you. Right? You're not paying attention. So if you go home today and your mother will say, oh, what did you learn? What did Harivilas say? Oh, he said a lot of good things. Okay, tell me one good thing. Well, he said, Krishna is God. But you don't have to go to Harivilas's class to know that Krishna is God. Did he tell you anything? Well, he said that we should listen. So did you listen? Well, yeah, I was listening. I mean, so can you tell me one other thing he said? Well, he said that Krishna is a good God. Come on. You have to sit over here from now on. And you have to listen so I can ask you questions. Okay, go ahead.
So pious activities, so people who perform pious activities, they are referring to the Karam Kanda section of Vedas, where they want to do good things so that they can get some good things in return, or if something bad happens to them, they can try to nullify it for the time being. And people who want to do speculation, they can guess and they can continue changing the superior authority. They can all at one point they can think that they are God. Mr. President is powerful, one manager to another, something, a material example. And then
why is it impossible to reach the absolute truth by speculation? Because of the 4
defects.
Because human beings have 4 defects, and they can never reach to the perfection because they commit mistakes.
They're easily
illusioned. They have propensity to sin.
Senses are
imperfect.
And
they have propensity to cheat.
Exactly right.
So when this happens in this lifetime, so I die and I have trillions of dollars in my account. So now, still, by doing pious activities and speculation, I have achieved this. But at the stroke of death, this is a defeat. The reason being because the real goal of human beings is to understand who we are and what's our relationship to Krishna, because only we have taken millions of birth time, 8.4 million species, and then we have got human birth, as Bhagavad Gita says that. And then what happens at there is no guarantee that I'll again get human birth, and only in the human form of life I can understand and self-realize and understand the purpose of life.
What is the human form of life meant for?
For understanding that we are eternal servant of Krishna, and to reach and to serve Krishna and develop pure love of Godhead.
And then you become free of the cycle of
birth and death.
That is the ultimate goal of science. The ultimate goal of science is to defeat death, to overcome death. So are there any real scientists today? No, not one.